everybody, it's me, Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New York City, Season 11, Episode 7. It's kind of a phony story. Okay, did it say to be continued last week? Because we are picking up at the exact moment we left off last week. Just in case you forgot, let me refresh your memory. The ladies are in the Berkshires. Dorinda and LuAnn have gone to get a cigarette. Sonja is drunk off her ass, and she is leaning over the table saying, "You don't touch the Morgan letters." And then she dissolves into tears. And Bethenny's like, "What just happened? What did I miss?" And Tinsley's like biting her nails nervously. Barbara kind of comforts her. Barbara's sitting next to her. Then Ramona comes around. Ramona is on her other side going, "It's okay. She didn't mean to do anything, to desecrate them or anything." Sonja goes, it was horrible. Now Bethenny comes around and she's like, "What happened?" So through her crying jag, Sonja is recreating Dorinda pawing at the Morgan letters with her menu on her plate. Bear in mind, these ladies haven't even had the main course yet. So we've only had soup. The night is young. So she picked it up like this and she's turning it over. Anyway, Ramona is continuing. Baby, honey, she meant no disrespect. Bethenny gets her up out of her chair and she gets her to leave the room with her. So Ramona and Tinsley and Barbara are left and they're talking about it. And Ramona goes, "Didn't I tell you? I called it." We refer back to when they were in Ventford Hall and Sonja was going down a Morgan rabbit hole. And Tinsley's like, "Yeah, you were right." Barbara goes, "Wow, that was a lot, right?" Tinsley and Ramona are like, No, you don't know what she's going through, Barbara." Barbara's like, "No, this here now. It was a lot." Ramona goes, "Stop. We're talking about something. You can just listen." "You weren't there. You don't know what she's going through." And Barbara goes, "I'm just saying it's scary." No, they're not even going to give her that. "No, it's not scary." Wrong again, Barbara. Ramona goes, "It's not scary, it's emotional." Meanwhile, out in the hall or in the other room, Bethenny is trying to talk Sonja down. Sonja is calm now, but she's still stuck on the same thing. She said, "She was touching all the letters." Bethenny's like, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to knock her out or do you want to relax now? Okay? So now LuAnn and Dorinda return to the dining room. LuAnn's all happy and relaxed from going out for a cigarette break. "Hey, how's everybody doing in here?" "Oh, not well, bitch." Ramona said, "You missed everything. Sonja had a breakdown." LuAnn, "Sonja had a breakdown?" Ramona, "Yeah, she was having a meltdown and I was consoling her. And then Bethenny, who doesn't even know what's going on, decided to take her away from the table. Which is fine. It's fine. It's all good." Now back out in the other room, Bethenny's going, "Listen to me. This is the wine talking." Sonja goes, "You think that I have to protect myself and not lose my shit is what you're saying." Bethenny goes, "Well, that ship has already sailed." Now Sonja decides she just wants to have fun. "I just want to have a good time." They're heading back. But in the meantime, in the dining room, Dorinda goes, "I just touched it with my pinky, just like this." Okay. First of all, I love that she thinks that that's okay, that she just touched it with her pinky. There are no harmful oils on her pinky finger. But anyway, then Ramona said, "You know what? I don't even think those were original letters." And Dorinda goes, "They weren't." That was something I had actually been thinking about myself. How about you guys? It really did seem like the letters would have been protected if they were originals, right? But as soon as Dorinda said it kind of definitively, Dorinda said they weren't. Ramona got up and ran, literally ran into the other room to tell Sonja, The letters weren't originals. Bethenny, who now just got Sonja calmed down, just screams at Ramona, "We're not talking about that anymore." Okay. Now, I understand you just calmed down one friend and now you think this one's gonna get her all riled up again. I get it, but don't be so rude. You know, like, she's an adult woman. You don't scream at each other like that. It's such an ugly look, and I just think Bethenny has a habit of not treating other people as her equals. So now they are all at the table. The main course is about to be served, and Sonja is fine after giving one more threat to Barbara that she better not try to get in bed with Bethenny. Bethenny screams at Sonja, too, to drink your water. And now here comes the naked chef with the main course, from where he was probably hiding in the kitchen, naked and afraid. Okay, now, I didn't even realize Ramona had left the room, but she walks back into the dining room in this, like, slinky slip. Barbara goes, "Oh my God!" And everybody looks, and there she's standing kind of, She's so proud of herself. Bethenny's like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to put my PJs on." LuAnn is laughing her ass off. She goes, "Ha, with the earrings and the high heels. I mean, I just can't." Tinsley to the confession cam said, "Everything's just chaotic right now. Sonja just lost it, and Ramona shows up in a negligee. That's totally normal. Welcome to the Berkshires." Then Sonja asks, "Where's Coco?" "Why, so you can lift her up like this again?" And Ramona said, "Oh, she's in the kitchen with one of the helpers. They're being so good to her." And Sonja goes, "Helpers?" And Ramona goes, "Well, what do you call them? I don't know, wait staff? I call them helpers because they help us live a better life." Tinsley and Bethenny are just cracking up. They're dying. And Sonja goes, "No, you nailed it. Helpers." I don't know. Like, I can't tell if she's being sarcastic or if she's, like, just still so wasted. But it was New York City gold. There are these little moments in New York City that make it stand out from every other franchise. So good. Bethenny says to the confession cam, "I want to come back in my next life as Ramona. Going through life like I'm just going to wear a silk handkerchief and some heels to dinner." If that's her dinner outfit, what is she wearing after dinner? Now we get to see the after dinner shenanigans where all the women are climbing on top of each other, writhing around in some sort of weird, all straight girl orgy. It is the one thing I probably will never understand. I can't even just blame it on age because I thought it was just the Vanderpump girls. No, these women are 40s, 50s. I mean, they're in my age range. And a girls' night in ends up in some weird quasi-lesbian love fest. Listen, I have nothing against anybody being gay, bisexual, whatever. I'm not even sure what that says about straight women today. That this is some new thing they like to do. Or, you know, maybe it says something about men. That's probably more accurate. This is a commentary of what men today are like, that straight women are just turning to each other. I don't know. It seems odd to me, but they all really seem like they're having a good time. Except Barbara, the one woman who is actually bi or gay. Barbara went to bed early because, in her words, she was downright scared. Okay, good night. Now it is the next morning, and Bethenny said to Sonja, "Wow, you almost threw down for me last night." And Sonja goes, "Oh, did I? I'm sure it was a great moment, but I just don't remember it." And Bethenny's cracking up. Then Barbara and LuAnn leave first thing in the morning. Barbara never unpacked her bag, so all she had to do was just zip things up, and she sat and waited for the sun to rise so that she could leave. Okay, bye. A little while later, Ramona and Tinsley leave also, maybe Sonja too. And then Dorinda and Bethenny go for a nice brisk walk. Okay, and then this was just so weird to me. So they just barely get started, and Bethenny said, okay, so I have to tell you the story, and you are not going to believe it. And I'm thinking, ooh, good, a juicy story. No, not quite. She said, okay, so I was at a Boston hotel. And you know how they have those like pads of paper and pen right by the telephone that's near the elevator? So I'm waiting to get on the elevator and I see this pad of paper. The piece of paper on top had writing on it. So she hands the note to Dorinda, who reads it and looks up and said, I don't get it. Bethenny's like, swear on my daughter's life. So then she reads it. Wow, you look spectacular. Bethenny goes, and I did look good that day. God, I love their self-esteem. Dorinda goes on to read, you're amazing as always, D. And she looks at her. And Bethenny's like, yeah. Okay, so we think this was a letter from Dennis, from beyond the grave. Okay. All right, and you know why she told Dorinda, because Dorinda is the one who finds loose change everywhere and thinks it's from Richard. So she's like, he just wants you to be happy and move on with your life. And Bethenny's like, okay, I'm doing it. Yeah, that's the push you needed. You were in Boston with another man, okay? I'm not saying she shouldn't have been. I'm just saying it's a little hard to act like you were waiting for that sign to move on, you know? Okay, now we are back in the city. Bethenny is at her house making her helper search for cards from Dennis, like when he sent her flowers or greeting cards or something. I don't know why. What is she trying to match the handwriting to this note she found in a hotel in Boston after he died? I say this all the time. I'm not a believer, but I mean, I guess if it makes her feel better, that's cool. Meanwhile, Ramona and LuAnn and Sonja are getting blowouts. Ramona brings up how LuAnn was complaining about the room assignment. Yeah, like you don't normally do that, Ramona. And LuAnn, unapologetic LuAnn, said, you know what? I'm more in touch with my emotions now. And the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I got the room I wanted. And you're what, proud of that? 'Cause you shouldn't be. Ramona, that's true. That's pretty much the way Ramona goes through life anyway, so it wasn't like you were teaching Ramona a lesson. This was before Sonja showed up. So now Sonja shows up, and LuAnn was telling her the way she was, boy, you were rough on Barbara. And Sonja said, yeah, you know what? I'll apologize to her for those, I'll punch you in the face comments. But I'm not the only one who needs to apologize, Lou, because Bethenny was pretty hurt. LuAnn, about what? You saying, oh, why is Bethenny's room being held for her? She's not the queen. LuAnn, if Bethenny is mad, too bad. So Sonja starts telling LuAnn everything Bethenny has done for her. She got you a lawyer. LuAnn, a lawyer? Sonja, yeah, she got you that lawyer? LuAnn, oh yeah, she did get me a lawyer. And she's like, and she did this and the intervention and she got you that. And yes, you're right. I remember all she's done for me. So the least she could do is give me the goddamn room. Am I right? Everybody dissolves into a fit of giggles. And LuAnn is really trying out her new comedy material because she's got this captive audience. Oh, I'm sorry. Bethenny. She ends with some fighting words, though. She said, if Bethenny's gonna take it personally, then bring it on, girlfriend. And next, we are at a flower shop with Sonja and Ramona. They're buying flowers for a party they're going to at Bethenny's house. Ramona is just thrilled that she's even invited. Sonja's like, yes, let me give you some advice, though. If Bethenny's email says, wear sparkles, don't reply all with a dumb question that you could have Googled. And Ramona's like, okay, I'll wear sparkles. The best part of this scene is that the shop owner, the florist, the look on her face when they leave is like, she's seen a lot in this city, but nothing like these two women. Next, Tinsley and LuAnn meet for lunch. So right out the gate, LuAnn is a lot. She's late because she came from uptown and the traffic is horrendous and she wants a hover car. Wouldn't that be great? You know, the ones that hover, a hovercraft. That's what I want. And Tinsley's like, yeah, I mean, I think they're, that's probably a little bit further out into the future. Well, I want a hovercraft. That's what I need. Then the waiter comes and she asks, do you have any decaf tea? And he said, yes, we have a mint tea. I'll do decaf coffee. You know what? I'll do regular coffee. Why make it complicated? Oh, please tell me she hasn't traded alcohol for Coke. Because something's going on. She is extra today. Okay, so now we get to the whole reason they're together. Tinsley thanks her for coming, and then we find out that Tinsley's father was an alcoholic. He died 3 years ago, not from alcoholism, but he was drunk and he fell down a flight of stairs. He had frontal lobe damage and went into a coma. He was in hospice, and 2 weeks later he died. She tells LuAnn that being around her is bringing up feelings about her dad, and she's angry. She said, I'm feeling like, why did we all have to walk on eggshells around him when time after time after time he chose alcohol over his family? And she's mad. She's mad that he left her. She's mad that he chose alcohol over her. So LuAnn explains to her that drinking is not a choice. It's a disease. Tinsley's crying now, and LuAnn ends up suggesting that she go to Al-Anon, which seems like surprisingly good advice coming from LuAnn. She even offers to go to a meeting with her. Then, in what felt like an abrupt left turn, Tinsley tells her that she is hosting the Big Apple Circus in like a week or two. Yes, she's working with her publicist again, and she's getting her these hosting gigs all over the city. Next, it is Bethenny's party. Yes, Bethenny is just having a get-together for all the ladies, I guess because most of them haven't seen her new place yet. So she's got her glam squad doing her hair and makeup. We find out that the staffing company that she uses for her parties and events is owned by her ex-boyfriend. And he never usually comes, but he was there this time. And she's telling the girls, oh my God, and I just had like a chemical peel yesterday, so my skin looks all broken out and horrible. She's like, of course, that's when I run into him again. And then we see him and hello, Russ. He's a cutie. Side note, Bethenny really does not have a type, because he doesn't look anything like Dennis. Dennis didn't look anything like Jason. Her first boyfriend, Jason, didn't, like, when we first met her, when the show first started, doesn't look anything like Jason Hoppy. So yeah, she's equal opportunity. But this guy, he's cute. All right, so the guests are starting to arrive. And oh, side note, I love what Bethenny is wearing. I love the glittery silver pants. I love the flowing top. I love that she's got the bare midriff. It's so cool. She's got her hair straightened. It looks so chic. I am getting Cher vibes with this. It's so cool and gorgeous. So as I said, all the ladies are starting to arrive. Everybody looks so pretty in their sparkles. And of course, Barbara was invited. You know, maybe if I didn't feel like Bravo was forcing her on me, I would have a chance to warm up to her. I do not think that's going to happen. Her behavior in the last episode is she's not winning points with me. But like I said, it's too much. It's too much Barbara. Bravo, stop. She's on camera twice as much as Denise Richards for a rookie season. And by the way, this isn't even technically Barbara's rookie season. And knock on wood, I hope she doesn't become a regular. But it's crazy to me how much airtime she's getting. Okay, so now the Chiron is showing the time and we're counting the clock down. And it's because LuAnn has not arrived yet. So I guess everybody was supposed to come at 6, and now it's 6:25, then it was 6:45, 7:02, 7:14. Ramona says, I am sorry, but like I have to leave at 8 o'clock because she's got a date. And Bethenny's like, that's fine, you do you. The doorbell finally rings at 7:15. Bethenny's not happy. Bethenny's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Hour and 15 minutes late? Sure, why not? Bethenny and Teddy, do you think those two would get along? They're both very punctual. They're entrepreneurial. I wonder if they would clash or get along. Anyway, LuAnn comes out of the elevator. Hello. I'm sorry, I came from uptown and the traffic is monstrous. Oh my God. Again? I just hope she doesn't start talking about hover cars again. But seriously, are you new to New York City, LuAnn? How is it that you are so perplexed by the traffic? I think it was Sonja in the confessional that said, oh, please, LuAnn, we all came from uptown. You don't think something's going on with LuAnn, do you? Please tell me she's not drinking again. I really, as much as I, make fun of her and think she's an obnoxious human being, which she is, I really don't want her to fall off the wagon again. I want her to be healthy, I mean, maybe it's her just being rude. Let's go with that. So dinner is served immediately now, of course, and Bethenny makes a toast, thanking everyone for coming and saying, I like that we're like all in a good place right now. Kiss of death, saying we're all in a good place right now. Nothing like jinxing it at the beginning of the night. Because the very next thing that happens is Dorinda would also like to toast Barbara. I want to make a toast to Barbara for surviving my bedroom. Barbara goes, actually, your sheets and comforter made it. I don't know if that was sarcasm or if she's trying to be nice now. I don't know. But Dorinda wasn't having it because Dorinda had this planned out. She says, I knew that shark wasn't going to be too scary because you've probably woken up with scarier things than that mounted shark. Holy crap. I mean, Dorinda came with an agenda. I'm not mad at it because Barbara was a horrible house guest. She really was. But so was LuAnn. So I do think that some of that snark should be aimed in LuAnn's direction. Barbara's not playing along. She simply tells Dorinda that the room was lovely and kind of puts an end to it, which is really kind of how all the housewives should be. When you can tell somebody's like looking to start something, you need to just diffuse it with kindness. So now Bethenny, who's sitting at the head of the table, she says to Sonja, we need to play a game, like Rose and Thorn or Truth or Dare or something. Ramona hears that and goes, oh, are we going to play Rose and Thorn again? And that just pissed off Bethenny. And she goes, no, we're going to play Truth or Dare, Ramona. And the look she gives her, do not make Bethenny feel stupid for suggesting something, Ramona. Side note, Truth or Dare is the worst game ever for this crew. I mean, I don't see in any scenario how this can end up well. I mean, really. So Bethenny said, you can give me a truth or a dare. I don't care, either one. But, I mean, give me a dare. Ramona goes, okay, I'll give you a dare. Do you think you'll ever really fall in love again? So everybody's like, Ramona, that's a truth. Everyone's laughing, and Ramona goes, okay, it's too complicated for me. I'm just enjoying the ambiance. It's pretty lighthearted and fun. And then LuAnn has to go and dare Bethenny to kiss Barbara with tongue. Side note, I do kind of love that somebody would have to be dared to kiss Barbara, though. You know what I mean? In situations where after a couple of cocktails, everybody's kissing everybody else, the idea that it would have to be a dare is just funny to me. So of course she does it. And the look on Sonja's face, Sonja is so mad. In the confessional, she said, I didn't come to this party to see Bethenny make out with Barbara of all people. On the one hand, I was jealous, and on the other hand, I wanted to puke. I'm with your other hand, by the way. So now Ramona leaves for her date, which is probably all for the best. Then Barbara turns and asks Tinsley, have you ever kissed a girl? All right, keep it in your pants, Barbara. Barbara thinks this party is like taking a turn. Okay, who's next? Anyway, as you might imagine, Tinsley's answer is no. So Sonja said, I can't even imagine what she and Scott do. They probably both closed their eyes. Is it over? Did we do it? Am I pregnant? I mean, it was funny and also really mean. But Tinsley was being a good sport and she's laughing. In the confessional, Tinsley said, just because I behave like a lady and I wear certain clothes doesn't mean I'm not a freak in the sheets. She doesn't know what this girl can do in bed. I mean, please. Okay, sweetie. I think we all know what you're doing in bed. Okay, and I don't know what's happening here. This whole game has taken a horrible turn because Bethenny has now dared Dorinda to call John and have phone sex. Well, why are we being punished? That's what I want to know. So she calls him, and thankfully, Dorinda is not comfortable with anything more than like saying, I miss you. I think we need to schedule some sexy time. Side note, show of hands, how many of you guys, when you watched this scene, were thinking, oh my God, how is Jill getting through this? Because it was not easy. Let me just say, I had my hand hovering over the mute just in case I needed to quickly not hear something. But yeah, like I said, thankfully Dorinda's not very good at this. But while they're on the phone, Sonja and Bethenny are nuts. They're just simulating, acting stuff out. They're pantomiming things. Sonja is behind LuAnn, making her touch her own boobs. They're all being goofy, and it was nuts. Me, I was more like this. Me and Tinsley were just counting the seconds till it ended. So Dorinda hangs up, and she's like, I was uncomfortable. That's the first time I've ever done something like that. So they're laughing, but they're hugging her and telling her she did a good job. Now Bethenny is bullying Tinsley into phone sex with Scott. Why Tinsley would pick Dare after that, I don't know. I think it's because she was afraid of what question they were going to answer and all that. But so now she's dared into doing phone sex with Scott, and she won't do it. And Bethenny's like, you said dare. Oh, okay, like she didn't sign a contract. So they change it to just call your boyfriend. Do that. That was her dare. And she won't do that. And Sonja's like, why? Just say, hey, babe, how are you? LuAnn's like, that's an easy one. It's your boyfriend. Tinsley said, well, I'm not doing that either. He'd be mad at me for doing that. Now we have every woman, including Barbara, in their confessionals going, that was so weird. Like, why wouldn't she call her boyfriend? What would be wrong with calling her boyfriend? Why wouldn't she do it? So Tinsley gets up from the table and she's like, now I'm going to have a cigarette. So she leaves. So now Bethenny says to Sonja, I mean, it was a dare. I've never kissed a woman in my life. You think I wanted to kiss Barbara? And Bravo cuts over to Barbara, who is still like walking on the cloud from the kiss earlier. And Bethenny, you think I wanted to kiss her? No, I was dared. You can't give up on a dare. Bethenny, you know this is a game, right? You weren't contractually obligated. It is bizarre how seriously she's taking truth or dare. Now we see Tinsley, who I guess they've gone in like Bethenny's bedroom, and out her window is, I don't know, like a balcony, I guess. And she's sitting on the window ledge, and you hear her talking to LuAnn, who's out there. And she said, he would kill me. Do you understand? He would kill me. I mean, now that was a little harsh. She did explain in the confessional that that's the kind of thing that he would be embarrassed if he was on speakerphone and didn't know it. And I mean, I do kind of get that. You are filming a TV show and he doesn't know he's on speakerphone. At the very least, he would be the brunt of everybody's joke. At most, he might say something you wouldn't want on TV, you know? I don't know if I would do it either. But I do think she should have explained it. So she comes back while they're still talking about it. I mean, Bethenny is insane. She is now saying to, like, Dorinda, if you owe me money on a bet, you got to pay it, right? You're talking about a game of truth or dare. I mean, wow. Anyway, Bethenny asks her if she's upset, and she says no. And she said, you're acting like you're upset. And she says, I'm not upset. We just don't have to talk about it. And Bethenny said, then why are we all friends if we don't talk about stuff? Barbara, maybe she doesn't want to be your friend. Maybe that's it. Dorinda, no, Barbara, don't say that. Don't be an instigator. Barbara, what? How am I an instigator? You guys, Dorinda brings out the claw now. It is so delicious. Stop being a busybody. Stop being an interloper. Stay out of it. Barbara, no, I'm sitting here in the group. I can say what I want. Stop being an interloper. Stay out of it. Finally, Barbara says, make me. Oh, there we go. There's the classy gal we know and love. Dorinda gets up, puts her dukes up. Oh, yeah, so we're going to fight now. Is that it? Make me, yeah? Well, you're so rough and tough. Let's go, let's go. Oh, my God. These women. So then Dorinda says something like, go get a hammer. And LuAnn goes, she has a hammer. Dorinda. Yeah, go get it. They need you over at Home Depot. Oh, God. Anyway, LuAnn wants to be filled in on what happened while she was off having a cigarette. Bethenny ends up saying, it's my fault. It's my fault. Because Dorinda's trying to blame Barbara, right? And Bethenny's like, no, it's my fault. Tinsley, I'm sorry. If what I said struck a nerve, I didn't know. I don't know where the line is. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. It's not like I dared you to blow up a building. And Tinsley said, I just didn't want to call my boyfriend in front of everybody. That's all. Bethenny, I didn't know it was a bad thing to do. I mean, I just kissed a woman for the first time in my life. I didn't know you couldn't call your boyfriend. Okay, that's fine. I understand. It felt weird to me too that she didn't want to just call him and say, hey. So yes, that's true. Fair point. But when she said no the first time, and you could see that it made her uncomfortable for some reason, you needed to let it go. You should have moved on and like dared somebody else to do something, or the game should have just moved on and moved past Tinsley when you knew it made her uncomfortable. She doesn't have to explain everything to the whole group. Who knows? Maybe they got in a fight that morning and she didn't want to tell everybody, and so she couldn't really call him. It doesn't matter. She didn't have to tell you. Yeah, they all really need to be a little more sensitive to each other. Now Tinsley's getting defensive, and whatever annoyance she has with Scott, that was starting to get to her now. She starts telling everybody, it's so much work. And Bethenny's going, you can't always live on his terms. It doesn't work that way. Tinsley goes, it works in his life. And Bethenny goes, yeah, well, it doesn't work in your life. Now Tinsley starts crying and she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm answering you the best I can. Dorinda's comforting her, and now Bethenny comes over and, sits by her and is comforting her. She's trying to give her a pep talk about, is he controlling? Because, maybe that's the problem. And listen, I'm not saying Bethenny's wrong, but Bethenny's, support always kind of leans toward the direction of you should probably leave him, get out of the relationship. I'm not saying she's wrong, because I do think there's a lot of red flags in that relationship. And in fact, I think as we speak today, they are broken up again. I don't know if it's for good. I don't know what, but I don't think they're together right now. So I think she might be right. But I do have this thought in the back of my mind that I wonder if Scott being Carol's friend and Carol being the one that introduced Tinsley to Scott isn't somehow a factor in Bethenny wanting this guy out of there. And I don't know if she, has a guy that would be perfect for Tinsley or not, but in a weird way, I feel like she would want to be the one to fix Tinsley up with somebody, just to have Carol kind of pushed out altogether. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but anyway, that is where this episode ends. Yeah. It was a lot, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe to Jill Informed if you haven't done that yet. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'm sure you guys have a ton of thoughts about this episode. There was a lot going on. Okay, I'm going to be right here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New York City. I hope you'll be here too. Bye-bye.